Hi, geeks, and welcome back to Insightful Jan. This time, I want to showcase the comic book series Fear Agent by Rick Remender. I hadn't heard of this series, but I did know the name Remender from other works like Venom, Captain America, and Deadly Class, which I found were written very well. A friend of mine suggested to read Fear Agent, so I bought the complete works as deluxe editions, which consist out of two very high-quality volumes. If you have never heard of Fear Agent before, just like me, then well, Fear Agent is a comic book series written by Rick Remender with artwork by Tony Moore and Jerome Opena, initially published by Image Comics in 2005 and later continued by Dark Horse Comics. The series, which ran for 32 issues, is a blend of science fiction, pulp adventure, horror, and dark humor. It captures the essence of retro sci-fi while embracing modern storytelling. The series is widely regarded for its rich, character-driven narrative and visceral action scenes. Here's a comprehensive look at the world of Fear Agent. So what is the setting and genre of Fear Agent, you ask? Fear Agent takes place in a future where Earth has been ravaged by multiple alien invasions, forcing humanity to the brink of extinction. The series has a distinct blend of genres, drawing heavily on 1950s and 1960s science fiction with ray guns, space exploration, and alien creatures. It also incorporates elements of horror and space opera, mixing thrilling action sequences with moments of emotional depth and psychological introspection. The tone is gritty and unforgiving, mixing gallows humor with moments of genuine horror, often leaning into the darker sides of the human experience, regret, trauma, and the consequences of violence. The retro sci-fi aesthetic, coupled with modern, fast-paced storytelling, creates a unique atmosphere. So what is actually about? At its core, Fear Agent is the story of Heath Huston, a Texan roughneck and one of the last members of an intergalactic militia known as the Fear Agents. These soldiers were once humanity's greatest line of defense against alien threats. Heath, a whiskey-swilling, self-destructive anti-hero, traverses the galaxy, working as a mercenary and battling the alien species that threaten the remnants of human civilization. The story begins with Heath living a life of near-constant violence, taking on various dangerous missions to destroy alien threats. However, the narrative quickly shifts into a more complex and deeply personal exploration of Heath's past and the trauma that haunts him. Through flashbacks and shifting timelines, we learn of his involvement in Earth's fall and his subsequent quest for redemption. The series delves into a period of Earth's history where it was invaded by two alien species: the Dressites, a parasitic race of insect-like creatures with hive minds, and the Titalians, a reptilian species that sought domination over Earth. Heath was a member of the Fear Agents, a global defense force established to repel these alien threats. However, despite their efforts, Earth was ultimately devastated. Heath played a direct role in the planet's downfall when, in a desperate act of defiance, he triggered a catastrophic event that destroyed much of the planet's infrastructure. His actions led to the collapse of human civilization and the loss of millions of lives. This failure became the defining moment of Heath's life, sending him into a spiral of alcoholism, guilt, and violence. I'll tell you more about Heath Huston, the protagonist. Heath is a quintessential anti-hero, a deeply flawed and tormented man driven by self-loathing and regret. Throughout the series, he grapples with his failures, both as a soldier and a family man. His personal tragedy lies at the heart of the story. He lost his wife, Charlotte, and their son, Rex, during the alien invasions. Heath's drinking problem and reckless behavior are rooted in his inability to cope with this loss. Despite his rough exterior and abrasive personality, Heath is ultimately a tragic figure. A man who constantly tries to do the right thing but often fails spectacularly. His journey is one of redemption, though it is a rocky road filled with missteps, bad decisions, and overwhelming odds. The two volumes encompass the complete works divided in 6 story arcs. Without spoiling too much, let's dive into a quick summary of these story arcs. First chapter is called Reignition, contains issues 1 to 4. The series begins with Heath Huston on a routine job, hunting down alien threats across the galaxy. We are introduced to his world of isolation, mercenary work, and hard-drinking ways. Early on, he encounters an alien race that threatens the stability of the galaxy, and through a series of harrowing events, Heath is drawn back into a conflict that forces him to face his past. In this arc, we see Heath as a jaded and broken man, but it also sets the stage for a deeper exploration of his character and the traumatic events that have shaped him. Then we continue with My War, which contains issues 5 to 10. This arc delves into Heath's backstory, flashing back to the time of Earth's fall. We see the beginnings of the alien invasions and Heath's desperate attempts to repel the Dressites and the Tataldians. However, the story takes a dark turn when we learn how Heath's actions contributed to Earth's downfall. His decision to detonate a massive bomb, an attempt to stop the alien forces, ended up causing more destruction than it prevented. This arc also introduces the theme of time travel, a crucial element of the series' narrative. Heath finds himself embroiled in a complex web of alternate timelines and paradoxes, often attempting to undo the mistakes of his past. In Chapter 3, The Last Goodbye, which encompasses issues 11 to 15, the story focuses heavily on Heath's past, showing how the Dressite invasion directly affected his personal life. We see his relationship with his wife, Charlotte, and their son. The narrative flips between the past and present, contrasting the life Heath once had with the ruins of his existence. The emotional weight of this arc is significant, as Heath grapples with the knowledge that his actions have not only failed to save humanity but also destroyed his family. His guilt drives him deeper into alcoholism, and he becomes a man barely holding himself together. Moving into Chapter 4, Eye Against Eye, containing issues 16 to 21. After time travel and various misadventures, Heath finds himself stranded on a remote alien world. Here, he becomes embroiled in a conflict between two warring alien factions. The arc takes on a more survivalist tone as Heath struggles to escape while also coming to terms with the idea that he may never fix his past. This arc emphasizes Heath's self-destructive nature, but also his relentless survival instinct. He may be a broken man, but he is determined to keep fighting, no matter how bleak the circumstances. Chapter 5 is called Out of Step, comprising of issues 22 to 27. In this penultimate arc, Heath attempts one final gambit to set things right using time travel. He seeks to undo the devastation that destroyed his world and family. However, time travel is fraught with dangers, and Heath quickly realizes that changing the past comes with unforeseen consequences. This arc is heavy on the emotional and existential weight of Heath's journey. He is forced to confront the idea that some things cannot be undone, and that the past may be unchangeable, no matter how much he sacrifices. Finishing with the final arc, containing the final issues 28 to 32. This final arc ties together the major themes and plot lines of the series. Heath faces off against his greatest enemies, both alien and internal. His quest for redemption reaches its climax, and the story comes to a bittersweet conclusion. Heath must accept the consequences of his actions, and while he may never fully redeem himself, he finds some measure of peace. The ending of Fear Agent is deeply affecting, wrapping up Heath's arc in a way that reflects the series' themes of loss, guilt, and the cost of war. Fear Agent is more than a simple space story. It touches upon different themes and symbolisms. It's about redemption and guilt. Heath's journey is fundamentally about seeking redemption for his past actions, particularly his role in Earth's destruction and the loss of his family. His guilt is a driving force, pushing him to try and make amends even when the odds are stacked against him. It's about the cost of war. The series explores the human cost of war on both a large and personal scale. Heath is a soldier who has seen unimaginable horrors, and the toll of endless conflict is a recurring theme. Alcoholism and self-destruction are the red thread throughout the story. Heath's alcoholism is both a coping mechanism and a symbol of his self-destructive tendencies. He drinks to forget, but his addiction often leads him into further trouble, reflecting his inability to escape his past. It's about survival and sacrifice. Heath's story is one of survival in the face of overwhelming odds. He often has to make difficult decisions that require personal sacrifice, further highlighting the series' exploration of heroism and its costs. And it's also about time and fate. Time travel is used as a narrative device to explore the idea that some events are immutable. Heath's repeated attempts to change the past show the futility of trying to undo certain tragedies, emphasizing the series' darker, existential themes. The artwork and visual style are phenomenal. The artwork in Fear Agent is dynamic and varied, with Tony Moore and Jerome Opena alternating duties throughout the series. Moore's style is more energetic and chaotic, fitting the series' more action-oriented moments, while Opena's art brings a more detailed and atmospheric quality to the emotional and introspective parts of the story. Both artists excel at depicting alien landscapes, intense battle scenes, and the retrofuturistic technology that defines the series. The art often contrasts vibrant colors with gritty, dirty environments, emphasizing the juxtaposition of high-octane adventure with the darker, more tragic elements of the story. The visual style perfectly complements the narrative's tone, bringing the chaotic and colorful world of Fear Agent to life. To conclude, Fear Agent is a unique and ambitious comic series that blends pulpy, action-packed sci-fi with deep, character-driven storytelling. Rick Remender creates a world filled with alien threats, time travel paradoxes, and intergalactic battles while grounding the story in the personal struggles of its flawed protagonist, Heath Huston. Definitely a must-read. The series' exploration of themes like redemption, guilt, and the cost of war gives it an emotional weight that sets it apart from other sci-fi comics. Heath Huston's journey is a tragic one, filled with pain, loss, and sacrifice. But it's also a story of perseverance and survival. If you haven't read this series yet, I highly recommend it. If you have read it, please tell me in the comments what you thought about this series. I'm always keen to know how others think about series I like. If you have any suggestions for me on what to read next, feel free to share them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up to date with what I have been reading and for more recommendations and reviews. As always, keep reading those comics and see you next time.